Hello.
I've been practicing the trumpet and trombone and more this last 2 months. And I practiced most of the time on this entry-level trumpet by Yamaha. It's called YTR. Is some student of English student of mine gave that to me as a payment, so to speak. I have another trumpet, but I also own 2 cornets, and this is my first ever bought trumpet, cornet. And I tell you that this is a really deep mouthpiece that did I change it some way? Anyway, this is a Getson Elkhart, and this is a Getson. It's nothing special. I have a better one called York. And I discovered something. It's easier to get high-pitched notes on a cornet. You cannot hear much because I have a... And... okay. So I have to study on this, and when I get that, everything will be more easier. That's a very difficult mouthpiece, but it gives me the sound I want. This is a 1C by Bach. And this is the mouthpiece I practice on, and I like it. I know some people say, yeah, no, you cannot get high-pitched notes on that, and it's difficult. Well, that's the idea. If I can get high-pitched note on this, anyway, gives a full sound that I like. I don't go for high-pitched notes, generally speaking. But I need to be able to play them, okay? And obviously, since I like I like the trombone and more low-pitched sounds, I don't play, but I need to practice them. So my goal is this, in 2 months' time, to be able to play up to the C 2 ledgers with ease, okay? And if you play those notes with ease, you can play also the other that I miss, but I need to be able to play without fail those notes. I can easily play up to that on a trombone, 2 octaves from the B flat that we call C. When I started again the trumpet 2 months ago, I couldn't get even a scale right. Can you believe that? Even a scale. That means a scale is... So, one thing I should say, without patience and self-assurance, you cannot play the trumpet, neither the trumpet nor the trombone. I think the trumpet is more unforgiving than trombone. Trombone has other things, it's difficult, you know, you have to be right on the money when you use the slide, and this is much faster. But this is taxing on your lips. The idea is, well, I should just slightly touch with my lips the edge of the mouthpiece, and I tried to develop the facial muscles here around the mouth. And there are days when you say, oh, I cannot play the trumpet to save my life, and there are other days where everything is better. It's like when I used to run, I should start again. But in time, if you are persistent, constant, and you don't miss a day, this is the idea. This is what I said. I heard Clifford Brown say in an interview. And he didn't play much, 2 or 3 hours a day. Not much. Nowadays they play much more. And they are phenomenal trumpet players. But something is... I don't find the same emotion that I find with Clifford Brown, with Miles Davis, with Chet Baker, with other trumpet players that are objectively technically more proficient. If I listen to Arturo Sandoval or the Australian one, James, I don't remember, they are objectively phenomenal. They don't have the poetry. I mean, Arturo Sandoval, I don't know, but no. I mean, they are stellar trumpet players. Even Wynton Marsalis is way better than most of the classical trumpet players. But first of all, they were the ones who invented and were at the forefront. Okay, it's easy to play what other people played before you than to be the one who does that first. Other than that, I like listening to them because the audio quality and the video quality is, for the most part, very good. But I prefer listening to Charlie Shivers, Buck Clayton, Joe Newman, Harry Edison, Clark Terry, up to back to Big Spiderback and King Oliver. If I had to choose one, in spite of the fact I said I don't play high-pitched notes, the one who sits in the middle for me is Roy Eldridge. If I have to listen to the sheer sound of the trumpet, I mean the open, I like Harry James. Not the most common jazz player, some people think he's a pop music trumpet player, but I like Harry James. I bought a King Silver Flare just because I like the sound of Harry James. Bunny Berrigan, there are many. Fats Navarro, Art Farmer, Freddie Hubbard. But the one who I like listening to, Louis Armstrong. Who else in the swing era? One thing I don't like, that those who play the trumpet like a flute, Nowadays, flute players want to be loud as trumpet players, and some trumpet players have a sound like a flute. No, in my mind is somewhere neither too soft nor too brassy. Some of them are brassy. When you play and you go into what I play the guitar as well, it's like overdriven sound. When the trumpet distorts its sound or her sound, I don't like it. Like when you hear this Bersaglieri Italian. Okay. No. It's funny when you play the cornet after a while. You just feel okay. You need to play just the trumpet for months. You play the trumpet, a cornet is okay. It's different. It's not overly different. I tell you, it's easier to get high-pitched notes, and everything is more round when you play the cornet. But for the most part, I practice on this instrument, and it's bright. Trumpets are brighter than cornets. I have also a flugelhorn, and I play the euphonium, which is the most round, full sound in the lower octave. For the most part, I prefer playing the euphonium rather than the trombone. I like the slide, but I prefer the sound of a euphonium. Too bad you cannot build a euphonium with a slide. It's impossible because of the conical bore. So my goal is to be able to improvise quite fluently. I will never be okay, but for me, if I can play swing, not bebop, I've never been a bebop player. It's like it's like so baroque, so full of many notes. I like listening to bop, but I can play something that's similar, just a modern mainstream. I could play. I used to play that on the saxophone. So I have all my phrasing still in my mind. Obviously, the phrasing, I have also a slight soprano trombone that people call slide trumpet. The phrasing of a slide trumpet is so different from the trumpet phrasing because, but it's much more expressive. So I have to, I haven't played it for 7 days. I should every day play and get the right positions, the right distance when I play, because everything is more difficult. So I wanted to say this. I started from thinking, oh, cornets it's easy. That's why they use for virtuosity. It's much easier on a cornet. Okay, and okay, this is not shepherd crook. This is like American cornet. Another one that has the same shape. I like the shepherd crook. I never had the shepherd crook cornet. It's easy, it's shorter. The shepherd crook is even shorter. This is a peculiar mouthpiece, and I like the sound of it. It's a beat up core mouthpiece full of scratches and things. I have a better cornet, and I'm now practicing on this more low-end instruments, but they work. Goodbye.